Work-life balance. What's wrong with it? It's nearly midnight here. I just spent the better part of the day trying to upload all my videos to YouTube, editing them, tagging them, titling them, creating cover pictures. Instagram, Facebook, they all use different formats, so it's kind of a mess. And if you want to do that I did it for previously for some videos, so I had to do another 35. It's a lot of work. It took like a better part of the day. Anyway, why am I sharing this? Because when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. I love doing that. I love doing the videos. It's not a chore. Obviously, it takes time every day to do it. But I enjoy talking about these topics. I think they're super relevant. I would have loved to learn about these topics 20 years ago rather than doing it all by myself. Although it has been a really rewarding journey and it brought me to doing what I do now. So if you do what you love, you don't work a single day in your life. And this is so true. And if I recall correctly, Richard Branson has once been asked, like, how do you manage your work-life balance? And he said, what is that? Because for him, like, work and life and play, they're all the same. Again, if you do what you love, it's not work. And so when we say, or when I hear people saying, oh, I really need a holiday, oh, really need a break, oh, I'm really looking forward to the weekend, you're basically saying that you hate what you, or not hate necessarily, but you don't like what you're doing day to day. And this is actually work is where you spend most of your life at. And if you don't enjoy that, that doesn't mean you enjoy every second. I didn't enjoy like uploading all these videos and I get a cramp in my hand, but I enjoy why am I doing it and creating that presence on YouTube. And so I don't mind. And so if you spend the majority of your life doing something that you don't enjoy, when you wake up in the morning and you're saying like, oh my God, I have to go to the office or I have to meet these clients or etc., then there's something wrong. And Steve Jobs, and I've mentioned this before, used to say, I look every day in the mirror and ask myself, if this is the last day of my life, would I do what I'm about to do? If the answer is if the answer is no too many days in a row, then I know I need to change something. So you might say, okay, this is like a fantasy world and utopia, but no, it is not. It doesn't have to be. It's just that people, or I think too many people, just accept this kind of notion of you have to work 9 to 5, you have to go to an office, you have to work for a boss you don't like, you have to serve clients that you don't enjoy. Not saying there's something wrong with the individual people, but like this whole process, the notion of work, how they understand it, is not pleasant, and it doesn't have to be. Especially as times are really changing with AI and robotics, like really land grabbing, a lot of the jobs that we actually don't enjoy, which are the kind of input, you do some task and you get an output. These can all be automated. So these are the jobs that will fall away, and not just for low qualification type of work, but also for high qualification, like in law, in accounting, etc. In research, in anything that can basically be taken in medicine, doctors, like it's actually more likely for doctors to be made redundant by AI than nurses. Why? Because the doctor is kind of the person that analyzes this. The nurse actually takes care of the person, i.e. the relationship, and handles the person physically, moving him or her to one room. So that's the irony, actually, the higher qualified job, because it is kind of an assessment job, right? You have input variables and then you make an assessment and you have an output. And a computer can just do that so much better than a human being. So, and let's move on from the doctor example, but what I'm trying to say is like these jobs that are kind of like often that don't have a huge creative part in them is usually the jobs I would argue that we don't really enjoy. And then of course the modern workplace itself is not an enjoyable, sitting in a cubicle in an office, etc., or having to travel all the time, or being in constant call from clients and getting messages, etc., all the time, having to be online all the time for something that you don't believe in. Meaning, I'm not saying you don't believe in your job, but you don't enjoy the bigger goal. You just do it either for the money or for your career, which is status. You know, impressing other people. And I did another video on that, why you shouldn't care what other people think about you, which includes you shouldn't want to impress other people, because there's just there's no reward of it. Yes, okay, it might make you attractive to, you know, to the other gender, but really it won't deliver life contentment or happiness. So, and it doesn't really matter how far you advance in your career. Like, you can change everything every single day. Every new day is an opportunity to change everything. It doesn't mean you have to go through radical changes, but it just, I mean, if you watch this video right now, it's weekend. Well, assuming you would watch this video tomorrow, it would be Sunday. You have time. Ask yourself, reflect on your life. People often don't want to go there because it's uncomfortable and it will raise questions that they don't want to ask. But that's exactly when you should go there. Like, as the saying goes, if you can't, you must. Like, the places that are most uncomfortable to go are the most rewarding ones once you work through them. Whether that's issues in your life generally, in your relationships, work, etc. You want to go them and you want to get uncomfortable and resolve it or understand it. And then, you know, first of all, you're aware of it, then you try to understand it, and then you can actually resolve it or get a new relationship to that issue, with that issue, and, you know, possibly just accept it. But coming back to the idea of work-life balance, once you actually do, and you see that with entrepreneurs, they're so passionate for whatever, you know, could be for financial reasons, but often for the product itself, the service they're creating, that that they can work 7 days a week. Although I have a lot of flexibility in what I do, because no one tells me what to do when, I work 7 days a week, and now it's midnight on Saturday and I'm sitting here and recording a video. So, and why do I do that? Because I love what I do. Actually, I love communicating it. I love working with people, with clients. I'm working on a retreat concept with a friend where we'll take executives to a small group of executives for kind of an immersive experience, taking them out of their head and touching on many subjects that I cover in these videos. And so I'm excited about creating that. I don't have enough hours in the day to do what I want to do in terms of like what I'm developing. And it is fun. So I don't need to break out. I don't feel the desire to go out or party or go on holiday, because life and work has really meshed in a beautiful way that everything I do for myself is also related to the work that I'm doing. And so if I'm going to a retreat or I'm going to a conference, it's related to my work, but I enjoy it as well. So ideally you find that place, because you spend so much time in your life working. And if you haven't, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you can change your job. You can finally immerse yourself in that passion. And will it be easy? No, it might not be easy. But then again, none of the good things you have achieved in life were easy. You know, if you think about your career, it wasn't easy, right? You had to study probably, you had to work yourself up in a job, and you did it. But you did it for something that, you know, maybe you don't believe in. So maybe you want to now invest into something, and it doesn't really matter how old you are. If you're 70 years old, you can still learn something new. Even if you're retired, you can still learn something new. The beauty about it, it's all about growth. It's about moving forward, but ideally in a direction that you want to move forward, rather than a direction you're told to move forward, or society tells you, or your bosses or friends tell you. So maybe take some time when you watch this video or the following weekend and explore what you're really, you know, whatever you want to call it, passionate, what you're really into, and maybe you can start steering your life in that direction. And if you do, life will never be the same again.